Hello everybody, this is a trend scan from a monthly perspective. So let's have a look here at these higher time frames, starting with US equities. So clearly we are still in an uptrend despite this two-wave sell-off we have seen in the markets. These last like 10 days we had one sell-off and a second sell-off, right? But putting that into perspective, I mean, we're still very bullish here on looking at the Dow Jones. It is super trending on the weekly chart, very small bars. It's a micro channel, and we see the sell-off here, right? So the first sell-off actually tested the 21 moving average. Now the second sell-off, it's a two-leg. Well, it goes beyond the 21. So that's a pretty deep, pullback towards the 50. But that had happened before, right? And we can see on the weekly, well, that's just a pullback to the 8, and the monthly and the quarterly is overextended. So we'll have to see what happens. I mean, this is another gecko S1 pattern, and this is a test bar. We have a nice test of 21. So we'll have to see if this gecko is going to trigger an entry, or if this gecko basically marks the end of a longer term pullback, which could well go here to the monthly 21 moving average. We saw an even stronger sell-off with those markets. Well, it's basically across all asset classes. Those markets that had really performed well had a stronger sell-off than the other ones. So this is the Nasdaq. It's way overextended, right, on the quarterly chart. And now we're just pulling back on the weekly, or we've got a pullback that's in super trend mode, or we have got a pullback to the 21, right? The YM was only pulling back to 8, so this is a deeper one. And we can see clearly here on the daily, it's a very deep pullback. But still, we're still like looking at the weekly and monthly chart. We're still in a strong uptrend, and we have to see what comes out of this. So similar gold had a sell-off. And we're basically having a two-leg pullback here as well. That's what I thought might happen. But again here, we're only testing the 21 on the monthly, and we're only testing the 8 on the quarterly, right? So we had this bull run spiking the 2011 high, and it was not able to develop momentum after that. So now we're just seeing a pullback. The bulls have to regain strength by coming back to the moving averages, and they might stay here. It might develop a pattern here on the monthly, and then overall, I think it still looks pretty bullish. Now silver didn't pull back that strongly, right? So it's basically outperforming gold. In silver, we only see a pullback to the 21 here, right, and just to the 8. So it looks more bullish actually, right, than gold. So we'll have to see whether silver cracks, or once gold finds a bottom, whether silver will be the first one getting out of this consolidation and continuing this huge bull run it did before. Now platinum did really well, right? And it was basically overextended. Well, it's touching the 200. So now what we see, well, we see a pullback, right? Whatever goes high, well, can fall hard. And this is what we see. And this is what we see here, basically. Now, palladium, it's a good example, because palladium was stuck in a sideways range here on the daily or on the weekly, right? So it didn't go a long way up. So as well here, it didn't go a long way down during this consolidation across all asset classes. So basically what we see here is whatever asset class performed really well in the last couple of weeks or months, well, has experienced a drawdown or a pullback. Now let's have a look at copper. So copper really did nicely, right? Big stop run move and overextended. Well, what we see here, well, that's a very strong. That's a very strong super trend that's getting exhausted. That's an EMA trending as well. This is an EMA trend. So that's an S1 pattern that is forming, right? So that's the clearest pattern I can see right now here on these 240-minute charts after the pullback. That's an S1 pattern, and this is a test bar, nicely testing the 21 in an overall high frame trend. So I'm always cautious with the first pattern coming up because we're heavily overextended, but let's just see how that develops once an entry is triggered. Now, those contracts, or that asset class that was basically lagging the others we just talked about, are the energies. So the energies are starting now to take over, right, and developing momentum. It looks brilliant, right? I mean, we have this rebreak of this important level, and these are stop run levels on the monthly chart. So we could actually see, and we can see it here, it's basically shooting for this level, a very strong EMA trend. So I'm very bullish here for the next week or the next weeks for the energy. So we see it clearly with crude oil, well, heating oil is highly correlated, but let's have a look at gasoline, because gasoline was front running crude oil, and we can already see how it's developing, how it's in full stop run mode, right? It's in full stop run mode, and here we can nicely see it. That's a pattern, right? An NS-owned pattern, and I'm very bullish, like for all energies, basically. Now interest rates have well, we've seen some activity, and what you read in the press is that well, this drop, right, in interest rate futures, a drop means an increase in the yields in the interest rates. Well, that has caused this sell-off in the US equities, and then well, metals follow because everything is correlated. Basically, so portfolios have to lay risk off, so they sell everything they have, and that is liquid. So well, we see this, right, but as well this is just a pullback, right, in an overall uptrend. So I don't necessarily see here that that this is a turning point in yields, but anyhow, I mean, nice trading opportunities can set up as well, trading this this short, for example, here, right? This is an S1 pattern. Let's just draw it. So this can be seen as an S1 pattern. It's not super clear because we don't have a test bar here. Well, we've got a test bar here on this one, right? Nicely testing the 21, and this is an EMA trend, and it could fall a long way, right? But that's basically counter trending the monthly and the quarterly while executing a 15-minute chart. It can be done. It just has a little bit lower win rate, but if it works out, a higher average, higher average R. So yeah, this is it basically, and interesting times. We'll see how that works out. If this pullback we're seeing right now, if this is it. Let's quickly go back. You can nicely see it with the equity markets. Well, if this is it, right, it's basically overextended on the downside. Well, if this was a 2-leg pullback and it's over and we are now continuing this overall uptrend, or whether we see here like a pullback on a higher time frame, like on a monthly or on a quarterly chart. As long as I don't see like short patterns coming into the market, well, I have to assume that this is an S1 pattern here, and that this is going to trigger an entry, and the bull continues for US equities, for energies. So we've got a new bull basically for the energies. We have to see what the interest rates are doing. So that's it. Thank you.